welcome to the class. Today, we are going to be talking about articles. We are going to tell you a little bit about the uses of the definite article, and that will also enhance the capacity of accuracy for the uses of articles. And as you know, these kinds of awareness help us build our confidence in the uses. So look at it. What we say, the first broad example is we use a definite article before a class noun which is already known to the listener or the reader. What is that supposed to mean? Look at the context. I saw a snake. Look at this example here in this slide. I saw a snake. So until now, there is nothing known about the snake. So we see, I saw a snake. So I am using an indefinite article in front of this. But when it becomes known to the next person in the conversation, my hearer, next time I can say, or in the next sentence I can say, the snake was a cobra. Look at it. I'm using the in front of the snake now. Here in this sentence you have the, here in this sentence you have a. So we don't need to be confused about it. We can say we are using a in one case and the in the other case, so what's going on? The important way to understand this thing is we are using a because the context is not known to the hearer. In the second sentence, which is part of the discourse, now when I already informed you about the snake, I saw a snake. Now the next time I am referring to that snake, I can use the definite article. That is the meaning. Now I am talking, when I say the snake was a cobra, now I am talking about which snake? The snake that I saw. So we can use the similar thing in a different context. We can say the book you gave me is missing. So we can't say in this context a book that you gave me is missing. We can say you gave me a book. The book that you gave me is missing means I am talking about the book that you gave to me. Then it becomes a definite entity and hence the definite pronoun, definite article here. We use a definite article before a class of noun to refer to the whole class. So the articles a and n can also be used, but I'll tell you the context about it. So look at this. The crow is black. So we are saying the crow is black because we are using it before the whole class. The elephant has a trunk. Whole class. But you have just now seen, we also said we can use an indefinite article in front of a noun if that context refers to the whole class. So here the important part is whole class. So we can also say a crow is black. An elephant has a trunk. We can also say these things. The important thing is referring to the whole class, whether it refers to the whole class or not. We can also use definite article before a pronoun in a figurative sense, in a metaphorical sense. We can use definite article in front of a proper noun in a metaphorical context, that is in a figure of a speech, when we use proper names as figure of a speech. Look at this. We can say Kalidas is the Shakespeare of India. We are talking about Kalidas, and in the second example, we are not really talking about Shakespeare. We are saying the Shakespeare of India, which means Kalidas is what Shakespeare is for some other place. Kalidas is that for India or that of India. So in this context, we can say Kalidas is the Shakespeare of India. And we can have multiple examples of these things. We can say Chennai is the Washington of India. So we won't use the Washington otherwise, but we are using in this context because it's a figurative sense, it's a metaphor. We can use a definite article in front of a last name, that is surname. So we can say things like the Chettiars. In the context as the Chettiars live in the next house. We can say the Chettiars live next to my house. Meaning, we are not referring to one person, we are talking about all of them. That is, all people living in the house who have the names Chettiar. The Smiths are coming. So, we are not talking about one particular Smith, we are talking about a group of people who all are known as Smith. We can have such things in Indian context as well. We can say the Guptas, the Swamis, and so on. Another context that we can see, we use a definite article in the context that are only one or unique in reference, like the sun, the moon, the earth, the prime minister, the president, the Times of India, the Hindu, the Washington Post, the New York Times, because these have definite references, unique reference. Hence, definite article is called for. So we say the sun rises in the east. Look at this sentence. We are using definite article twice. The sun rises in the east. Both have unique reference. The sun and east. The prime minister is arriving today. So when we are referring to the prime minister, it's a unique position. There is not. It doesn't happen that there is another person known. Another person. It never happens that there are multiple people as prime ministers. So we see the prime minister is arriving today. And if wherever you have a unique reference, you can use definite article. We also use definite articles before material nouns. Material noun in a specific sense. That is, the material noun is specified and excluded from the rest, like the water of the Ganga, the rice of Dehradun, meaning this has exclusive reference. We are not talking about general water, we are talking about the water of the Ganga. You see, another example of the, because Ganga has unique reference. The rice of Dehradun, not ordinary rice, but the rice of Dehradun. And it's also before the names of rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, group of islands, mountain ranges, newspaper, ship, and some classical books that I have just referred to. The Nile, the Ganga, the Chilika Lake, the Arabian Sea, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Himalayas. Just mentioned to you earlier, the Times of India, the Hindu, the Bible, the Mahabharata. These are not just classical names, but all of them can be put in one category as unique reference. We have it before a noun which is followed by a postposition of as well. That is, we can use definite article in this one. So we can say the front of my house, the back of my house, the pages of my diary. In such context, we can use a definite article. We have given you two sentences here as an exception, but if you go into the details, they are not really exception. We are saying not in the case of noun in apposition, but if you see the noun in the apposition, that's a name of something. So this rule doesn't apply here. But nonetheless, when you look at number 7 in the total context, you will understand there is no counter. These are not counter examples to anything. Number 8, we use before an adjective in the superlative degree. So we can say, she is the brightest girl. So the is not, definite article is not used before an adjective. But keep in mind, here, it's not just an adjective. The moment we say use this in the superlative context, it is also in front of a noun. So we are not talking about just a girl. We are talking about the brightest among all. Therefore, it receives unique identity, hence the definite article. Same thing, this is one of the most interesting books, not an ordinary kind of book. Of course, interesting books, but the most interesting, hence definiteness. A comparative degree when there is an increase or decrease in activity. The more he received, the more he wanted. So it's a marker of comparison, but you see the context, and in such cases we do use definite article. The sooner you start, the better it is for you. These are some of the examples. So that's a quick discussion on definite and indefinite articles and its uses. We are giving you some exercises, and this is how we have designed some context for you based on the discussions so far. So you spend some time on this and see which article can be used in these cases. And when you read things that you spend an hour reading with, please pay attention to the nouns that get articles in front of them and see what is it making, why is it the case that you have a specific article in front of that noun. A close attention to such things will familiarize you with the context and appropriateness in your uses. So please look at some of them. We can say, seeds you saw last week have sprung up. You need to decide what article. Is it the context for definite or indefinite article? If indefinite, which one of them? So I leave it for you to work on this exercise, at least for yourself, and you can pay attention to more of them. In this context, I also need to tell you one small point as footnote, that it is also possible that we do not use articles in certain contexts, and I am only giving you two of them. There could be more possible contexts where we don't use an article. In other words, we can call it zero article. That way, it becomes the fourth one. So it's not necessary that if there is a noun, we must have one of the three articles. It's possible that certain contexts do not need any article. Such a situation, such a context is called zero article. So look at this. We don't use articles before the following class noun when they are part of a daily routine. So like home, church, temple, hospital, prison, work, sea, town, market, railway station. We have listed a lot of them: bus, train, bed, college, university, office, father or mother. These are part of our regular things, so we don't use articles in front of them. We don't say he is going a home. We don't say he is going to the home. We simply say he is going home. I go to church every Sunday. It's part of my daily routine. Hence, I don't want to say I go to the church every Sunday or I go to a church every Sunday. Get it? You have a whole list of things, some examples from the above listed materials for you to refer to. We also do not use articles before materials and abstract nouns unless they are specified. So we can say, he bought 5 bars of gold. The small child needs care. So look at this. So no article is used in bars here, bars of gold, as you can see. So there are contexts in which we do not use articles. So you can work on the context. Most important concluding point that I want to tell you, I am repeating it again. When you read something, please pay attention to the uses of articles and see if they fall in the categories that we have described here, or there is another category. That will help you be updated with the information that we are putting in here and watchful for more context and information, which in turn will develop your confidence. And always remember, uses of appropriate articles in spoken and written language improves and makes your language impressive. Thank you so much for your attention. Wait until next time we bring something new for you. Thank you.